Tonight, our special transmission as the U.S. designates the United Arab Emirates as a major defense partner in the Middle East. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Aisha Ashraf. Today is the 354th day since Israel started targeting Palestinians indiscriminately in response to October 7th attacks. Palestinian Health Ministry reports Israeli airstrikes in the past 24 hours have killed 17 civilians in the Gaza Strip. Airstrikes since early morning have hit homes and residential blocks in Gaza City, Khan Yunis, and Rafah. At least 7 people have been killed. Heavy rain has flooded makeshift camps across Gaza, forcing families to spend night under heavy rain. The United Nations agency says there is an urgent need to increase humanitarian access into the Gaza Strip. The organization says Palestinians do not have enough tarps and tents to shelter themselves. Israel conducted attacks yesterday on 2 schools in Nusayrat and Al-Shati. The schools were being used as shelters for internally displaced civilians. The attacks are being described as massacres. At least 10 people have been killed, including 5 women and children. The armed wing of Hamas says it has ambushed a convoy of Israeli armored vehicles in Rafah. The death toll from Israel's war is alarming. At the time of writing, at least 41,467 Palestinians have been killed. At least 95,921 have been injured. Israel faces accusations of genocide at the International Court of Justice for its actions in Gaza. Lebanon's health ministry reports Israeli airstrikes since Monday have killed at least 558 civilians. Among the casualties are 50 children. 1,835 have been injured. Some of them are in critical condition. A 6-story building has been hit in Ghoberi, Beirut. Many civilians are trapped inside and rescue efforts are ongoing. Reports indicate that an entire family remains buried under the rubble. The strikes are also targeting villages in southern Lebanon. Israeli strikes have killed a journalist, Hadi al-Sayed, during an attack on his home. The situation has led to a mass exodus. Tens of thousands of Lebanese civilians are fleeing their homes. Approximately 500 have crossed into Syria to escape the violence. In retaliation, Hezbollah has launched missiles at Israeli military bases, including the Eliakim base near Haifa. The United Nations has raised alarms over the humanitarian crisis. World leaders, including the Irish Prime Minister, condemned the civilian casualties. In a media interview, Irish Premier Simon Harris says Israeli attacks in Lebanon have caused an extraordinarily dangerous situation. Canada's Foreign Minister Melanie Joly has urged citizens and permanent residents in Lebanon to return home immediately. In a statement posted on X, Joly says the situation along the Lebanon-Israel border is volatile. She says the situation could escalate without warning. She has expressed grave concern over the conflict. Joly says she is in contact with her Lebanese and Israeli counterparts. She says Canada advocates for urgent de-escalation to prevent a devastating catastrophe in the region. Israel has filed challenges against the International Criminal Court's request for arrest warrants for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. Israel argues that the court should investigate itself. Israel has filed 2 legal briefs this past Friday. Israel says it is both challenging the legality of the International Criminal Court's request for arrest warrants for Israeli leaders, as well as the court's jurisdiction. The court's prosecutor, Karim Khan, is pursuing warrants based on alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity committed during the war. Khan announced in May that he is seeking arrest warrants for the 2 Israeli officials, as well as 3 members of Hamas. The names of the Palestinian leaders are Yahya Sinwar, Mohammed Deif, and Ismail Haniyeh. Haniyeh has since been assassinated in Iran in an Israeli operation, and the court has ended proceedings against him. Israel says it has killed Deif, although Hamas has yet to confirm his demise. The U.S. has designated the United Arab Emirates as a major defense partner amid escalating tensions in the Middle East. The announcement follows a meeting between President Biden and his UAE counterpart Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan at the White House. The designation aims to bolster military cooperation between the U.S., the UAE, and India. This comes as the U.S. has been raising concerns of UAE's ties with Russia and China. Reports suggest that UAE is also supporting Sudan's Rapid Support Forces. The group is accused of human rights abuses. In July, the UAE announced it would send peacekeepers to the Gaza Strip. However, it is calling for Israel to establish a Palestinian state first. Top officials from the United Kingdom are warning of potential criminal liability regarding the export of components of F-35 fighter jets to Israel. Rights groups allege they could contribute to war crimes. The warnings have been issued by the Global Legal Action Network and other groups. The news comes as the UK government has suspended 30 arms export licenses to Israel. However, F-35 parts remain exempt. The groups argue that the UK's involvement implicates the government in violations of international law. In response, the UK government claims halting exports could undermine the global F-35 program. Israeli media reports a senior official from the Saudi-backed Yemeni government is urging Israel to provide military assistance. The report suggests the assistance will be used to combat the Houthi forces. The unnamed official is linked to President Rashad al-Alimi's administration. He is calling Houthi naval operations in the Red Sea as dangerous. The official describes the Houthis as a terrorist militia akin to ISIS and Al-Qaeda. He is asking for advanced weaponry. The official criticizes the Biden administration's efforts as ineffective. He is urging a united front with Israel to tackle the escalating threat. The news comes as the Houthi have conducted missile strikes on Tel Aviv, including a recent hypersonic attack. The Toronto District School Board is reviewing its field trip policy. The news comes after students joined a protest while attending an educational event about the Grassy Narrows First Nation. The march was scheduled to begin at Grange Park near the Art Gallery of Ontario and end at Queen's Park. The field trip was intended to raise awareness of mercury contamination. It took a surprising turn as some students were seen shouting Free Palestinian slogans during the Grassy Narrows River Run March. The board says it was unaware that students would engage in issues beyond the event's focus. It has apologized for any distress caused. Education Minister Jill Dunlop has expressed her disappointment. The board is now revising its procedures to prevent similar situations in the future. Critics argue the board should have anticipated these developments. They are calling for more stringent planning in future excursions. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News Canada. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV.